Denise, when you're ready. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the City of Bettendorf Committee of the Whole meeting. Today is Tuesday, July 18th, 2023 at 6:15 p.m. We're having tonight's Committee of the Whole meeting in advance of our regular meeting at 7 o'clock because we had a planning meeting last night working on our comprehensive use plan. Thank you all for your time last night. Great steps being made towards a new comprehensive use plan, or at least revised and updated. So thank you all for great work and your time last night. Speaking of planning, our first presentation is our downtown master plan. For that, we welcome our Assistant City Administrator and Director of Economic Development, Mr. Jeff Ryder, Jen Radloff, Project Manager at Shive Hattery, and Stacy Brockett, the Landscape Architect intern at Shive Hattery. So thank you, Shive Hattery folks. We're taking a lot of your company's time over the last few days, and we appreciate that. And we had RGG last night as a consultant. We got you guys today. Awesome stuff. So thank you very much for being here, and we appreciate your help. We'll turn it over to you, Mr. Ryder, if you want to take the floor.
Sure. Thank you, Your Honor. Members of council, we appreciate the time this evening. The timing is very good, and we were excited last night to see the comprehensive plan update as it was presented by Mr. Hunt and the team. The timing is really well aligned with what we're presenting this evening, as we expect the downtown master plan update to be part of that overall comprehensive plan update. There's a lot of unique information that the ladies from Shive Hattery are going to present you this evening regarding those updated plans, and they fall right in line with the comp plan revision. And then additionally, Mr. Jancy from the Downtown Bettendorf organization is going to present tonight as well an update on their successes. So these three presentations fall hand in glove with each other, and the team that's working on one has by and large worked on all. So prior to turning the floor over here, I would just like to acknowledge the support and thanks of Shive Hattery, Brad Knutson from Essentra, Mark Hunt, Taylor Beswick, the team on our community development department, and obviously Ryan Jancy as well, and everybody that helped us with this update. It's important to mention that this is only an update, much like our comprehensive plan. What we did in 2016, actually with the support of Mr. Connors at the time, we created a updated downtown master plan in 2016. Since that time, as Jen and Stacy will talk about, there's been many things have changed and been updated in downtown. We got vertical structures that are spectacular. We have a new bridge, a number of things that have come, which kind of required this change to be made to the downtown master plan at this time. So I think with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jen and Stacy to talk about some of those primary changes. And just to let you know, as you see in front of you is a draft of what this updated revision will look like. And again, our goal is to present this as part of that overall comp plan revision when it comes forward, most likely later this year, early 2024. With that, Jen, Stacy, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you all for having us. I'm going to start out by dating myself that I helped on the 2016 plan and now this one. And I think what we wanted to maybe hit on is the highlights of how much has changed in those 7 years. I think sometimes we're all so close to it that we take for granted the things that have changed in that short of a time period. When we worked on that 2016 version, we were modeling what we thought the downtown was going to look like with what we thought was the I-74 bridge and how that alignment would work. So that's obviously been the biggest change for Bettendorf, is the I-74 bridge construction is not just a hope, a dream. It is a reality. It's done. It's built. There's been obviously the realignment of state and grant since this last version that we did. You had over 120 right-of-way takes downtown Bettendorf that helped with different properties that were demolished, were relocated, which has significantly changed the face of the downtown. There's been a few other projects that are new construction that I think Stacy might talk about.
A lot of new things have happened downtown, even with some of your own municipal buildings, such as City Hall got a facelift to its exterior. That created a really great little green space pocket out front to really welcome people as they come through. That happened because of the alignment of State Grant Street. That really kind of created the front door to downtown to really say, hey, look where you are. It really announces kind of where you are. And updating some of the other municipal buildings, such as the fire station, got an expansion that really helped not only make the downtown beautiful, but functional and feasible for municipal services. And there was a lot of demolition to many properties in the downtown due to those right-of-way acquisitions. Just kind of really creating a clean slate that can really help to create a vibrant downtown to help, kind of just restart and refresh things.
The time there was demolition, there was also a lot of new construction. I mean, when we look outside here with TBK, with the Newberry development, with Essentra, I mean, there's been a lot of growth downtown Bettendorf, and I know some of those areas previously, I know where Essentra is, we had originally thought that that might be some sort of pocket park type of thing, and so it's kind of neat to see how it has evolved into actual development. And I think one other big change that you'll all notice in the plan is previously we had talked about this promenade that happened in that alleyway, and I think we all came to the realization that there was a whole lot of utility relocation, and there probably would have been a lot of pushback from businesses of having to switch around their faces. So we've replaced that promenade within the plan to have just a wider sidewalk so that it's a pedestrian-friendly downtown. It's not creating a bunch of rework with utilities. It's something that, again, came out of I-74 with having that wider sidewalk that's kind of now become the new norm, to have that go throughout and be that connector.
We've also focused on, in this plan, is creating it to be very pedestrian friendly. So such as Jen mentioned, wider sidewalks, bigger sidewalks for businesses to be able to allow people inside and outside more feasible and more streamlined, to create that where you really get people that want to walk around downtown and want to park their car somewhere and just really stroll and take a slow meandering walk through and feel comfortable and feel safe doing it. We've also included, there's been beautification downtown too, such as at Martha's Point and at the 26th Street Point. That area was revamped with new landscaping and most importantly, new signage. That signage really helps to really announce like, welcome to downtown Bettendorf. It really kind of gives that home feeling of you're here, you have arrived, and we want you to stay here and play here and be active here and visit our streets. And that signage has been incorporated throughout. So this plan really took into consideration all of the signage that has been constructed and built and creates that palette of signage that will really create a cohesive look throughout downtown that, doesn't let people forget where you are and why you came.
And I think Jeff already alluded to this, but this plan was done in conjunction with Mark working on the comp plan, with RDG, what they were doing, updates to the zoning code, so that everything could be cohesive versus it pointing to something within the design standards of this master plan that didn't align with zoning ordinance, or something that was within the comp plan. So we tried to make it a cohesive document that would work well with, or play well with the others.
Another component to this too is also some of the more detailed design standards of the plan. So we also looked very down into some of the design detailed portions of this, and that works in conjunction with the comp plan and the zoning code to reinforce what city code says and what we really want these businesses and redevelopment opportunities to be. So looking at everything from, how parking lots would look, how landscaping would be done in the downtown to encourage landscaping in the downtown, and what some of these buildings can really start to look like to create that cohesive vibe of having everything be consistent and of consistent nature and be beautiful and maintainable for not only the city, but the people that are investing in the city and their buildings downtown. That really helps to create, just a character that can be longly maintained and maintained for a while and not lose entity. And also embracing the healthy hometown initiatives, really reinforcing that walkability of downtown and increasing pedestrian activity and usability of the streets that create a vibrant downtown.
And we've talked about a whole lot of new things, but there's also been new things that are a reuse of other use properties, such as Riverside Grill, Adventurous Brewing. Those are all things that are new that have happened in that time frame, but was a reuse of a building that was previously sitting vacant or a previous use that the new use is now conducive to that downtown master plan.
We've also looked at things that increase pedestrian activity. Jen mentioned the alley promenade. The alley promenade was proposed to be in the alley of Backside in 2016. It's now proposed to be along State and Grant Street. That's really gonna help enforce the main connectivity between State and Grant Street and really allow people to really get excited about what's happening in downtown and look and see what people are doing, stop, shop, eat, drink, play in downtown, and have just a great time in the community. So with closing of that, there's been, as you've heard, just a number of things that really have happened in the downtown, and we really hope this plan helps to push forward and really continue that great success that you all have had in the future and hope to see soon.
I think the one last thing that I would say, which is probably a great transition point, is something that didn't exist in 2016 that does exist today is the downtown SMID that was created. And we worked in conjunction with Ryan Jancy, and so I guess that would be a great transition to him, but I guess before that, I don't know if there's any questions or anything that, Jeff, you wanna add?
Yeah, and I would just close it up with a couple of thoughts as well. We understand the importance of what that pedestrian promenade was supposed to do and be. And with that, we've seen a couple of businesses that have really tackled this wider sidewalk concept, Essentra being one of those, the Realtors Building is another, obviously in front of the strip mall here to the east of us. But we've also seen some successes with a couple of our newer projects that are coming. Mark and I and the staff have worked very diligently with the salon and the new Thai restaurant that's proposed on the west side. She is going to re-landscape the front of that and add sidewalks that are more ADA compliant and wide as well. We mentioned that whenever we talked about that deal probably a month back. So the business owners are really starting to embrace it. There's some key components to this plan as well that were a bit nebulous or undefined in 2016, and today they're a lot more defined, and those are some of those downtown boundaries. Many people ask or question or think about downtown, but there's different boundaries for different areas, if you will, and different entities. So the SMID boundary, while it is a downtown Bettendorf organization and a SMID, that boundary is a little bit different than the downtown master plan overlay district. They are very, very close, but this plan specifically defines things like those boundaries as well, so folks know what they're looking at whenever it comes to code, or whether it comes to building standards, or whether it comes to whether or not I pay taxes because I'm in the SMID. This specifically identifies those boundary lines as well, and it really helps to define what it is you're looking at or who or where I should turn if I have questions, whether it be a city official or whether it be a DBO SMID question, things like that. So we've really tried to put a lot more teeth into it today based on what we know today. Again, thank you to Mr. Connors for the 2016 help. The interesting thing was in 2016, that was actually a revision of a plan that was done in 2009. So we are actually just starting to set this up as a revision for the years to come as well. And our next plan, to be perfectly honest, will be likely in 2028. We feel as if we revisit this every 5 years, that's gonna keep us in tune and in touch with what's going on. So we do plan to revisit this again in 5 more years, just to make sure that we are on par with what it is we say and what it is we think is happening. So that's our goal. And one closing segment, I'm sure Ryan will talk about this as well. It's pretty awesome to see, because we are so close to it, all of the development and the true fact that we've seen over $170 million of private dollars invested in downtown since I took this position in 2015. It's a pretty darn cool thing. So it is occurring. We do have a downtown, and it's going to continue to grow. And I think the next big thing I'm excited about is seeing light bollards on our riverfront trail that are going to be redone too. So that'll help with that walkability as well. And yeah, with that, I would open it up to any questions.
Any questions? Jerry?
Thank you, Honor. My first comment is I think a significant improvement has been we went from 7 gas stations down to only 2. I think that was a real accomplishment. And then my question is I assume in here that you identify any code changes we need to make to move forward with this plan, if we need to do code changes?
Yes, I would recommend that you take the plan with you first and foremost. As we had mentioned, we're going to update this in tandem with the comp plan. There's a lot more alignment with our code and policy today in this plan. And then this really gives us either the foundation to make decisions in the overlay district, or it gives us the coverage and support to say that this plan is referring to what is in our comprehensive plan. So they work hand in hand with each other. And if one is defined in the comp plan, then that's where we go for that code issue. If there's something that the comp plan relies on in the downtown master plan, we can say refer to the overlay standards, and that'll tell you where to go. So we, I think, have done a really good job of making sure that these plans reference each other, and these plans do not have any sort of differing or wavering narrative that might create some confusion for a business owner or developer.
Thank you.
Other questions? Greg?
Thank you, Your Honor. I noticed on a couple of the maps that they're showing a bridge at around 23rd Street.
Yes, sir. Wouldn't that be great?
It would, but are we,
Pass the hat tonight, Greg. You'll start.
I can kick in a couple bucks. I know it's expensive and it's down the road, but in the meantime, do we have a plan or engineering or whatever so we know what land, as if it becomes available, we need to get it?
It is our understanding right now that the riverfront landowner is working with a local engineering firm that is not present at this table right now, to look at what sort of land would be necessary in order to construct that pedestrian bridge and the overpass. So we are relying on the developer and the landowner at the riverfront to provide us with more of that information.
This is auto and pedestrian, right?
That's correct.
Okay, but on this side, probably some of those businesses, isn't it gonna have to be some land on between State and Grant Street that's gonna have to be acquired at some point?
I believe it would take something pretty substantial to make that bridge happen,
So,
yes.
so I know, but my question is, do we know if property A comes available, we're gonna need that in 5 years or 10 years or whatever to,
Hopefully it's not that long.
okay, 3 years, 5, whatever,
But if we do, we're going to rely on the engineering firm to tell us what right-of-way would be
on
necessary.
both sides.
Correct. Because our understanding is that the plan is being designed and the right-of-way that's necessary would be represented in that plan.
Okay,
So yes.
that was my question. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Other questions? Bill?
I like the plan, I like the updates. Obviously, when you look at any plan, funding becomes an issue.
Yes, sir.
So is there a plan going forward as to how we're gonna maybe incrementally fund this?
You're passing that hat. Go ahead and start.
Well, just like all of our discussions last night, this will have to start to get incorporated into the CIP. Obviously, we'll try to find the opportunities for other funding sources. Obviously, we could use TIF as part of that if it's in concert with a development. Greg asked questions about a bridge. We believe all along that that's probably in concert with a TIF arrangement for the development that would occur on the riverfront if and when that happens. So it'll be a combination of public and private dollars and grant dollars, just like we do today. So we'll have to identify it. We'll have to identify the source, have to identify the potential years that it comes into the plan. And obviously, we'll be flexible if development occurs. We'll move forward and try to go quicker. If it doesn't, it may get pushed back a little bit. So
Sure.
Mr. Connors?
kind of standard vernacular for the CIP.
Yeah, Mr. Connors, much like a lot of the development you've seen occur here in the last 6 or so years, there's a lot of little things we can do to pick off or make things better. And I'd mentioned the light bollards along the riverfront. We had budgeted for that, and it's in the plan to get those done now. That's a nice incremental win, if you will.
Right.
Our friends at the DBO have done some great work with beautifying some streetscapes. There's some other things too. Our sidewalk improvements that we've discussed, the widening of the sidewalks and things. When those opportunities present themselves, I know our public works staff, Brent and Brian, have been great. We have sidewalk improvement dollars that can help with some of those whenever they become necessary. So there's just a lot of little incremental things we can do within our budget and our means. Wayfinding signage for pedestrian access. We have budgeted this year within our economic development budget to help support those sorts of little things as well. So I think it's going to continue to motivate business owners to invest, and I think those incremental things will make things better.
Okay, I appreciate that. I just don't want 5 years from now to pull out this copy of the downtown master plan and blow the dust off of it and say, well, we're gonna do it again. So let's actually do something.
One tool I would suggest that we have not really used in Bettendorf, but it's a tool that has been used across the state, is what Mr. Plain talked about, and that's TIF bonds. We can bond for using TIF increment as a backstop for public improvements. And that's something I think we're gonna start to really look at pursuing. A lot of other cities, especially in the Des Moines metro, have used TIF bonds, and that increment backstops those bonds based on that new incremental growth. That's where you can really make some substantial change happen.
Excellent.
Other questions? Yes. Nick?
One thing, in the village section, I see redevelopment of the Bettendorf Community Center. Has there been any additional discussions around that? I know it's a little bit of a hot button topic, but any thoughts on where that project might head?
I think it's a hot button topic for everyone, staff included. We had a great work session yesterday, department heads. We got together for about, 6 hours or so? And this was one of the topics of conversation. We have some thoughts and some concerns, and I think as we go into goal setting, we're really gonna try to nail down that direction.
Yeah, thank you.
Other questions? All right. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Ryder.
Yep.
Jen, Stacy, thank you very much for being here. Thanks to Shive Hattery for your work on this project and your continued work as it'll continue to move on. And we'll use you again in 5 years, and we're going to make some headway, as Bill suggested. So you'll have new work to do. Thank you, ladies, very much. Appreciate you being here. Have a great rest of your evening. All right, Ryan, we have Ryan Jancy, the Executive Director of the Downtown Business Organization, for our DBO update. And Ryan's got some friends with him. Do you want to introduce them with you tonight?
I sure will.
Awesome, thank you. I figured you would.
Good afternoon. First of all, thank you, Mr. Mayor and City Council, for having me. City staff, thank you for everything you do. I wouldn't be up here if it wasn't for your foresight, the council's foresight, and the relationships I've built with the city. We get things done because of that relationship, right? It's a testament to their heart for the city and for wanting to do good down here, and I appreciate everything that they make me look good. I'm the worker bee out here, yes, but I'm nothing but the conduit, right? You know, for the business owners and the property owners, and I'm thankful that I can represent you guys and hopefully give you a return on your investment, if you will. So again, we're here for the third year of our SMID. Before I begin, I'd like to introduce Don Keller. Don Keller is our outgoing chair. I want to thank Don for his FY23 work down here. Also is Kevin Kellner, and then Ladrina Wilson with the Quad City Chamber of Commerce. We'll touch on that a little bit to remind you that we are a division of the chamber. And then Brad Knutson, who also helped us on the downtown master plan. Brad is retiring from Essentra after 30-some years in downtown Bettendorf, is that right? So that just speaks to the voices that were heard when we make that master plan, right? That this wasn't built in a silo, that the master plan had feedback from property owners and business owners and people that have been down here for a long time. So we appreciate that. Thank you, Brad. So just a reminder here, here's our FY23 board that we worked with over the last year. I think we do a good job of making sure we represent all of downtown, right? We have property owners on east and west side of the bridge. We have anything from salon owners to industrial property owners to restaurants and home improvement businesses. Great feedback, very attentive board, always willing to step up and willing to give their 2 cents and make sure that their voices are heard and make sure that we're making good progress in downtown Bettendorf. So as I mentioned, we are a division of the Quad City Chamber of Commerce. Again, a lot of the work I do with their help, whether that be through the attracting of businesses and jobs, they have their arm, and my arm is strictly in the quality of place. So we need to create a place where people want to live, work, and play, and then that feeds into the other aspects of our three-legged stool where we have businesses. We can't attract people to come to our town if we don't have a good living or a good environment for them to make this living in the Quad Cities. So my job is to make that cool place, and I'm excited to be a part of that. So what does place management mean? This is what all of the DBO touches, right? We have business and economic growth. I won't read through every single one of these, but you can get an idea, and we'll kind of continue as we go on. I'll touch on each one as we continue. So business and economic growth, infrastructure and livability, and advocacy and promotion. One of our biggest feathers we wear in our cap is our facade and interior grant program. In FY23, we gave out $60,000 in grants, which leveraged $666,000 of private investment. Downtown has turned the corner, right? We're thriving. We're starting to thrive. We're starting to create our brand, and we're seeing it by investment by business owners and property owners in their property, right? Yoso has invested in their patio. Did an interior job. We retained that business down here. They extended their business and took over the old Riverside Grill. Shameless Chocoholic is a new business down here. And then TMI with an interior and facade grant, moving some of their employees from uptown to downtown. So the genesis has continued of people continuing to build downtown. We did have $75,000 allocated this year. I want to reassure the council that the committee and the board are good stewards of these dollars, right? We've had some grants come in front of us that have had some questions. We've gone back and forth, and at the end of the day, those grants weren't awarded for one reason or another. Just know that they take this very seriously, and they want the best for downtown Bettendorf, right? Our job with this is to take any kind of work and take it from good to great, right? So if we can help that business owner, whether it be better windows or a better siding or whatever the case may be, we can help fill that gap and help improve that business. They did touch on the downtown master plan. Again, only 4 of us were mentioned that were part of this committee, but the entire board was part of the committee, right? This wasn't created in a silo. This went back and forth to the board. They weighed in. Why are we doing this? Let's add this. Give me more of this. And so that is what progress is about, right? Communication, collaboration, and we're delivering for these downtown property owners, and we're starting to see it with the way our downtown is turning the corner. We are expanding downtown. We've retained or expanded 9 new businesses here. Yoso, obviously, a big attraction downtown. We're starting to turn into a little bit of a food downtown, if you will, so with Verde, Yoso, and then possibly a Thai restaurant happening on the other end of town. We're excited for that type of development. There's more people coming downtown, visiting, eating, living downtown. We want to continue on that trajectory. TMI claims a warranty. Again, they had businesses uptown where they've moved their business people downtown, so more people working downtown. My Crystal Porter within expansion, Adventurous Brewing expansion, an anchor tenant on the west side has really developed a nice little niche over there and lots of good beer, so I've been told. One thing you will see out there is we do have a cleaning ambassador. Davenport used to be called the gateway to the Quad City or to the west, but I'm now calling Bettendorf the gateway to the west, right? We have a brand new $1.2 billion bridge. When people come into our downtown, I want to make sure that it's welcoming, inviting, and clean, right? And what's the first thing they see is that off-ramp. We want to continue to make sure that we're maintaining that. We're going to see more development and beautification efforts as we continue to grow in and around the bridge. But it's just having that identity out there. People now know that it's the DBO doing it. We have a golf cart with our logo on it. We are here to complement the city, but we also work for the property owners, and we want to have that visual aspect of a golf cart out there that this is their return on their investment, if they will. See you later. Maintaining Be the Light Park, again, west side development. We have a lot of stuff jumping off on the west side, and we're continue to be excited for that. We did touch on some of our beautification efforts. The downtown, welcome to downtown Bettendorf is an identity element, right? Like they touched on earlier, it is welcoming people into our downtown. You are entering a special place. There's things happening down here. There's nightlife down here. There's people living here. There's people working. We want you to know you're in downtown Bettendorf. So we were excited as a board to take part in that. And then we also helped out with cleaning up those gateway signs too. Again, we want to, with the landscaping, we've helped do that. One of the other things that I'm really proud of is our self-watering water baskets. I don't know if you've seen some of these flower pots out there, but very big, very beautiful, and they do more than just catch your eye. They calm traffic, which is what we're trying to do too, right? We want people to slow down, have a good time in downtown, walk around, discover Chocolate Man, or the Shameless Chocoholic that is on the other end of town, maybe have a beer at Adventurous Brewing, all the above. So elements that we're starting to create our brand down here, and we're starting to get a little bit of identity, and people are taking notice. Another big feather in our cap this year was the addition of over 80 U.S. flags on State Street. Again, a traffic calming effort, but an identity piece, an identity element that shows that downtown cares. We want people to visit down here. We want people to be around. And again, we thank Brad Knutson and the Boy Scouts for helping put those up. And then going forward, we'll be having those up on all the flag holidays. I think I took them down a little early this year, but we'll be putting them up for a week to 2 weeks at a time when we start putting them up. So then we'll touch a little bit on advocacy and promotions. Again, I work for the business owners down here, so we want to start putting some of that spotlight on those business owners. We've started here recently in the last couple months doing our downtown biz stories. You have Casey Keller here. We want to tell the story, obviously, about K&K, one of our longest and most prosperous businesses in downtown within. And then we also have, if I can remember off the top of my head what the name of their business is, I'll think of it here in a second. But again, we're also telling that story, reintroducing people to businesses down here, and hopefully telling that story to people that maybe want to start a business, that you can be successful in downtown Bettendorf, right? That the DBO is here to support you, we're here to tell your story, and we want the best for you and your business. We had a great holiday season promoting not only the artwork by Atlanta Dawn. We had over 12 windows painted in downtown. We had an ornament hunt. We teamed up with the BBN and the women's group and their bridge ornament, and we hid those around downtown. Again, getting people indoors, discovering new businesses, seeing what's new down here, walking around our downtown is all a part of what we do down here and what we want to see. We wrapped over 100 lights. We had some more fall beautification efforts. Again, it's about creating that identity and creating a place where people want to continue to visit. This is our Deck the Downtowns promotion. And then we had, this year, we had Be Downtown. Again, we partnered with the city of Bettendorf for their birthday bash. This year, thanks again to the city of Bettendorf, we were able to hold this event with a stage on grass. And it's about getting people to understand what we're trying to build down there. We're about to see a bunch of stuff happen on the west side. A lot of good things are coming to Bettendorf, and we're still in the middle of this renaissance, and we're still getting people to understand what we're building down here. But this is starting to open their eyes, an event like this, and we're starting to see people, come from to downtown Bettendorf that wouldn't think downtown Bettendorf is a place where they want to hang out or necessarily have an event at. So we continue to grow. We continue to be a strong event. It's attracting families, and I think we want to continue to have that free family fun event to attract our people into downtown. We make sure we promote with outside of the downtown as well. So we promote in the Quad Cities in their, excuse me, let me make sure, Visit Quad Cities. We have this, and yeah, that's it. Sorry about that. Lost my train of thought down there. Yeah. And again, just telling everyone, outside of the businesses that we have down here, there's restaurants down here. We're kind of a sports mecca, if you will, of the. I won't tell you which is my favorite one, but they got pretty good nachos down there. If that gives you a hint. And again, I'll touch on it one more time. I can't do any of this without the support of this staff that you have over here. I can't speak highly enough of it. This isn't the sexiest picture right here, but there's a story behind it. This is on the west side of downtown, next to Be the Light Park. One of the property owners down there was adamantly against the SMID. Since then, he has pulled me aside a couple times and says, hey, man, you really do a lot of stuff down here. I'm really excited about what's happening. He brought this to my attention. This was a safety hazard where there was semis coming out of this property that were possibly close to taking out lights because of the new alignment down there. Within one call to the city, meeting on site with Brent and Jeff Ryder, this lane was created overnight. Those are successes. That shows the property owners that not only am I listening, but the city is listening, and we're here to help them be better, and we're here to help our downtown be better. So looking forward to next year, we're going to continue creating a thriving downtown. We want to continue adding more hanging baskets downtown, $75,000 in facade and interior funds. I've already got 2 on my desk right now, waiting for review. A clearer vision of what's going to happen on the west side. That was one of the biggest things that I heard when we created this SMID is everything happens on the east side. Well, just be patient because I think the best is yet to come for the west side. More retail promotions, and then believe it or not, we're coming up on a SMID renewal. That'll start here this year, and the reason is because our taxes are in the rear, right? So we want to make sure we don't miss that window and get that signed in FY24, so it takes a hold in FY26. This SMID actually runs through FY25, but we don't want to miss that window and miss out on any good opportunities we can have continue to build a thriving downtown. So once again, I want to thank Don. Don, it's been a pleasure working with you. Not that you're going anywhere, but I like to shine a light on you and take it off me every now and then. So, thanks again.
I was in at lunch today, Don. I missed you. I know I wasn't looking for you specifically, but somebody talked to me right as I walked in the door, and I was in and out of there. Got what I needed.
So moving forward into FY24, Seth Rowland will move into our vice chair position. Seth works for American Family Insurance on Grant Street. And then our friend Baron Sexton at TMI will represent the west side, and he will be our chair for FY24, even though I got it wrong on there. I said it many a times, it's communication and collaboration that makes it work. I've heard a lot. I've heard it from the business owners and the property owners down here. They see it happening in real time. We talked about it earlier. We've come a long way, right? There used to be City Center Motel down here not too long ago. And now this is a crown jewel over here of what development looks like and what is yet to come, And so I'm excited to continue this work. I look forward to continue to work with the city council and with staff over here to bring your vision to light in downtown Bettendorf. Any questions for me?
Any questions? We'll start to the left this time, to the right. Ryan, thanks. We've worked really hard as a team together with the folks that you've singled out before, not maybe necessarily all of us, but thank you, Jerry, for serving on the committee. And I appreciate all of the business owners and the great work that you've done. It's not easy to put together a self-taxing entity that's going to pay a little more for what they hope to get. And I hope that they've seen the value in what you and the team have brought to the table, because they are, in my opinion, and I think in the opinion of all of us, reaping a great reward, and it would be foolish not to continue that great work. I've got both of my city administrators giving me the Decker finger. So we're going to go to Jeff first because he got my attention first. Our
I'm
assistant.
sitting right here.
I know, but I get to control the meeting.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just a couple of things from the business end. I know there's always questions about, the funding and how things are happening, and I just want to say that there's a lot of leverage with the DBO. Sometimes Ryan calls and it's simple things like, the DOT left a sign in the right of way. Can you have somebody go pick it up? But there are actually some business things that have happened that are very, very supportive of Bettendorf as well. And Ryan had mentioned the gateway signs. We as a city funded those signs, as we have done with many of our different facilities across Bettendorf, but the DBO specifically paid for all of the landscaping. So that was over a $20,000 expenditure to have those landscaped. That was done by the DBO. Ryan had mentioned that there's a golf cart and an ambassador. One of the benefits, I know Brian will attest to this as well, is that ambassador goes around the urban park, he goes around the streetscapes in downtown, he goes up on the I-74 pedestrian bridge and changes the trash cans whenever there's trash in them. So on a daily and a weekly basis, this person that does this gentleman, he's actually helping provide a service to us as well that we don't have to pay for. So that's a huge benefit to us as well. And then Ryan had mentioned the facade grant. Mark and Jerry and I sit on that review committee as well. And we try not to give a lot of direction. We try to give a lot of support because technically it's by and large the DBO's dollars. We want to support that. But we do know that the DBO's tax dollars are the primary funding source of that. Ryan had showed a slide there where $60,000 had been invested this year. $50,000 of that was dollars from the DBO. We had a joint agreement. If you recall back in the day, the city provided a facade program and we had $75,000 in that fund at that time. Since then, the fund is $75,000 with $50,000 committed by the DBO, and we always commit the last money in, that last $25,000. Well, this year it was a net $10,000 because we had $60,000 in asks in total. So they always spend their money first, and then we're that last money in when necessary. But the leverage is there. The dollars are being spent by these property tax paying businesses. I just wanted to highlight a few of those things to show that not only is this a collaboration for beautification and pretty fun things, but they're actually putting their money where their mouth is.
Yes, they definitely are. Thank you very much. Okay, Decker.
Your Honor, I just wanted to say that Jerry and I get the pleasure of being on the board, but the guys who are invested in the downtown, Don and Kevin and all the downtown people do the bulk of the work, and we're there to kind of support it. But you can see there's no bigger cheerleader than Ryan Jancy, and the enthusiasm that he has for this work and for this group is incredible. His dedication is just second to none. And when he talks about who that ambassador is, sometimes he's the guy on that cart, and he's the guy that's going up on the bridge, and he's the guy that's picking up the trash. So Ryan does it all, and we all notice that. And there's nobody, this was an incredible choice, and you've proven to be quite the ambassador for us, and we're grateful. You've done a fabulous job, and I can't think of anybody else more qualified to do it, and you damn well better not leave. That's all I got to say. So,
Second best choice you ever made. You married a Bettendorf girl.
We talk about renewing the SMID, and if you remember, I think we had 59% of the property owners, which represented 70% of the value that signed off on the SMID. The proof will be in the pudding when we come back with those petitions, and hopefully we can't double those numbers, but I anticipate those numbers going up, right? Because what I told them that I was gonna do, what we as a board were gonna do, we're doing, right? And they're seeing it out there, and hopefully they're grateful and they return and sign again.
agree.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Great work. Great to see you, my friend. All right. Operational items, any questions on operational items? Kind of a short agenda for the regular meeting. How about consent agenda items for any particular council person that would like to ask a question at this time? All right, then I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda items for consideration later.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right, just so that you know, in case they have to leave, we do have a college intern with us in our community development department. Ashton Wheeler's here. Ashton, give us a wave. Thank you for your help this summer. Thank you for being there late last night. Thank you for being here late tonight. We appreciate you. And in the back, if you can step out here, Maddie, come give us a wave. This is a job shadow with Denise Infield in our communications department. She's a senior at Durant High School, ladies and gentlemen. Maddie Utter. Thank you both for being here. All right, we stand adjourned, and I'll introduce you guys again if you're sticking around for the next meeting. We're past time, but we're going to take 5 so anybody can grab something to drink and go to the restroom. And I apologize to those of you who showed up for our 7 o'clock. You're going to have to wait just a couple extra minutes since we went long. So we are adjourned. Good work, people. 5 minutes.
The 11th might work. I don't have anything, but we'll be back by 6.
Oh, yeah. Well, since I've been involved in the city too, it just frustrates me.
It's now 7 o'clock, like 7:04 PM. We went a little bit long in our 6:15 committee of the whole, but we are now in our regular agenda meeting. Michelle, will you please call the roll?
Adamson.
Here.
Brown. Here. Connors.
Here.
Nauman.
Here.
Sexer.
Here.
Baden.
Here.
Palczynski.
Here.
Thank you all for joining us. Now, if you could all rise, remove any headdresses or caps you may have, and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be followed by an invocation given by Bettendorf Police Chaplain and Outreach Pastor of Mighty Fortress Community Church, Pastor Alex Sierra. Please remain standing for our invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pastor Alex, please.
Dear Heavenly Father, as the City Council begins their meeting, I would ask that you would find favor with this council and that you would give them the wisdom and the guidance needed for this meeting tonight. Those that are here expressing their concerns, I would ask that both council and citizens be quick to hear and slow to speak. Help them with facing the difficult decisions that might arise during this meeting tonight. We ask that you would bless and move upon our municipal employees here at the city. We ask that you would move upon our firefighters and police officers, keep them safe. We ask that you would bless the citizens, the businesses, the schools, and our churches of all faiths, and all those that visit this great city. And we ask you these things in our Heavenly Father's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Alex. Pleasure to see you, my friend. All right. Once again, thank you to City Council and department heads for indulging me to bring champions to City Hall. We are blessed today to have a Rivermont Collegiate senior, Andrea Perubson, who got the opportunity to represent Bettendorf High School in the 2023 state tennis championship. She's a 2A state champion and a runner-up in co-ed doubles. And if I can invite Andrea and Coach Ron up here, we're going to go to the center of the room where I can talk a little bit more about our champion who is visiting today.
Congratulations, champ. Coach, congratulations.
So we have with us today Andrea Perubson, am I saying it right? Okay, from Rivermont Collegiate. Rivermont has an agreement where they can go to, I think, PV and or Bettendorf, or at least Bettendorf, and you are at Bettendorf to play tennis for Coach Ron Stout and the Bulldogs, so congratulations. Being a former Bulldog myself, we're happy for you. But Andrea had quite a state meet. She had quite a year, in fact. In singles, she was undefeated 20-0. In doubles, she was undefeated 12-0. So she finished her senior year undefeated in everything she did, just like me. Oh, no. She was the 2A singles champion in Iowa and the runner-up in the co-ed state doubles in Iowa. And we're the only state to have a co-ed tournament. So that's kind of cool. You got to play some more tennis. And it looks like you love it, right? Yeah. Pretty good at it, playing all the time. She was named the Iowa Senior Female Player of the Year. How cool is that? This little piece of crystal pales in comparison. She's going to an Ivy League school called Cornell in Ithaca, New York. Congratulations on that as well. And we have a little piece of crystal for you to take with you. We're going to present this to you from the city of Bettendorf in recognition of Rivermont Collegiate Senior Andrea Perubson, representing Bettendorf High School in the 2023 Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union Class 2A State Singles Tennis Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, a champion
for Bettendorf. Made it a habit of bringing champions to City Hall, like I kind of shared with you, so that we can hold you up as a champion and somebody who's just a normal kid in our town who worked very hard at your craft, and that's what it takes to be successful in our society. Hard work, teamwork. You're kind of in an individual yet also team sport where you get to perform by yourself, but also in your co-ed doubles and playing doubles with a teammate. So that teamwork and that ability to have the intestinal fortitude to go on when things aren't going great. And those are the things that, those characteristics make great humans and great people who would maybe, hopefully, after you earn your degree or degrees, might bring you back to Bettendorf. But no matter where you land, know that you have a role in helping the city as well. Whether it's in city government or giving back to your community, we'd encourage you to do that no matter where you land. So hopefully you'll learn a little something about City Hall. It's not too dangerous. These guys are actually. So it's also a good fun time on our team. So maybe you'll think about joining a team like this someday. But we're here to congratulate you, to hold you up to others as a champion for the great work that you did. One more round of applause. Anything you want to say?
Well, I guess first of all, I just want to say thank you, Mayor Gallagher, for inviting me to take time out of your schedule. It means a lot considering I was here before and very important stuff was going on. And also thank you, Coach Stout, for helping me out throughout these past 2 years and helping coach a team of teenage girls. That was great. And finally, thank you to my parents for supporting me and providing me with everything I need to achieve my tennis achievements. And I guess finally my teammates for also helping me out and supporting me and helping me, teammates.
Are you playing tennis at Cornell?
I'm thinking club.
Okay, fantastic. Coach Stout, anything from you?
I just want to say, Andrea is an outstanding student athlete. She's like I said, she's a great teammate. She is always there for all of her teammates. There was never a time that she didn't want to stay there and help out somebody else to get better. And we were at the state tournament. It was pretty amazing because Andrea was seated. She was seated third, and so I'm sorry. So she was seated. No, she was seated fourth. And so typically 1 and 4 go, and then 2 and 3 at the bottom, or 3 and 2. And so Andrea ended up playing the 1 seed in the semifinals. It ended up being a 3-hour match. It was pretty warm, but I mean, Andrea, the whole thing about Andrea is that you look at her and you think that she isn't that big, but she has, a heart of a lion. She's out there and she makes that other opponent have to hit that extra ball. And so she had an amazing semifinal, ended up going, like I said, 3 hours, came off the court. She was starting to cramp. She was having some physical things there. Unfortunately, they only give her a half hour to get ready. I asked for an hour, and they're like, no, I can't do it. So I wasn't very happy about it. She drank fluids. She came out there. She was not 100% for that final, and she battled and she beat the number two seed. So to get to that final and then to win that, she won. She beat the number 1 seed and then the two seed to do that. So, this says a lot about her character. She never gives up. She's always positive. She has a great attitude out there, and she's going to do great in whatever she does. And that's the fantastic thing about it. Her sister also was a 2017 champion. And then also her brothers played at Bettendorf too, and were very, very good too as well. So it's a great family. I'm going to miss them. They've been phenomenal. And it's just been awesome. So we're gonna miss her and all that they bring to the court and to the school. So.
Thank you.
Welcome, Sean. All right, good job.
Thank you.
Great to see you. Congratulations.
All right, we've come to public requests of council. If there's anybody here who wishes to be heard on an item not already on tonight's agenda for a public hearing, you can state your name and your address at the podium in the back. We'd like to hear from you. Anybody here for public requests of council? All right, we'll close public requests. Let's move to our first public hearing. Section 5307, Federal Transit Administration money. Brian, what is this money?
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor. FTA requires our system to hold a public hearing and to have council approve a resolution in support of a grant application. These funds are used to help offset our operations costs as well as bus replacements that we are going to be seeking here this fiscal year.
Thank you, sir. Any questions for Brian before our public hearing? Okay, Michelle, did we publish notice of this public hearing?
Yes, we did, Your Honor, and I do have affidavit of publication.
Did we receive any written correspondence with regard to the same?
No, we did not.
Let's open the public hearing with regard to our American Rescue Plan financial assistance under Section 5307. Anybody wish to be heard on this item? We'll close the public hearing, move to the resolution. Councilmember Baden, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have a resolution approving the 2021 application for Federal Transit Administration Section 5307 American Rescue Plan Act financial assistance. I move approval of the resolution.
Second.
That is what they said.
No, but who's gonna tell me what it is? We got a motion figured out. Okay. Any discussion?
You need a second.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Yeah, we got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay. Michelle, please call the roll on the resolution.
Baden,
Aye.
Palczynski,
Aye.
Adamson.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Connors.
Aye.
Nauman.
Aye.
Sexer.
Aye.
All right, we have unanimously approved. That resolution, we move to our next public hearing. Mark, what is this Title 11, Chapter 4, Section 5, Table whatever, Agricultural, Residential, Civic, and Office Permitted Use Table?
Yeah, thanks, Your Honor. So probably really just a Scribner's error, and we would have caught this in the upcoming zoning ordinance update, but we do have that secondary education that is a permitted use in A2 all the way through C3, but somehow the C1 got left out, and that obviously makes no sense when it's permitted in all those districts. We had a brief presentation about this 2 weeks ago, and really just bring it to you for the first hearing and public reading tonight.
Thank you, sir. Any questions on this issue? Okay, Michelle, did we publish notice of this public hearing?
Yes, we did, Your Honor, and I do have affidavit of publication.
Did we receive any written correspondence with regard to this?
No, we did not.
Let's open the public hearing with regard to that Scribner's error we talked about, secondary education allowed in the C1 district. Anybody wish to be heard on this item? All right, we're going to close that public hearing. Councilmember Brown, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have the first reading of an ordinance amending Title 11, Chapter 4, Section 5, Table 11-4-5A, entitled Agricultural, Residential, Civic, and Officer Permitted Use Table. I move approval of this ordinance at its first reading.
Second.
Any discussion on this item? Hearing none, Michelle, would you please call the roll?
Baden.
Aye.
Palczynski.
Aye.
Adamson.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Connors.
Aye.
Nauman.
Aye.
Sexer.
Aye.
All right, we have unanimously approved that ordinance first reading. We move to our consent agenda. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the same at this time.
So moved.
Second.
Any particular item on consent for discussion from any council member this evening? Michelle, would you please call the roll?
Baden.
Aye.
Palczynski.
Aye.
Adamson.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Connors.
Aye.
Nauman.
Aye.
Sexer.
Aye.
All right, before we adjourn, I do want to thank Ashton Wheeler, who is an intern in our Community Development Department. Thank you again, sir, for being here late last night and tonight and for your work this summer. And our senior from Durant High School, who's doing a job shadow with Denise Enfield, Miss Maddie Utter. Thank you for being here today as well, Maddie. At this point in time, I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We stay adjourned. Good work, folks. Appreciate you being here.